Well, thank you for joining us with GLC Math. And this lesson, I'm looking at expanding when there are mixed negatives and positives. Well, we could even go as far as simplifying here, but let's just do some expanding when there's mixed negatives and positives. So let's say we have, negative 3, 5x squared minus 7x plus 9. Okay, here we've got mixed negatives and positives, and we have to expand. So we've got a negative times a positive, then we will have a negative times a negative, and finally we will have a negative times a positive. So negative 3 times positive 5x squared becomes negative 15, because negative times a positive is a negative. 3 5s are 15, and all the variables is x squared. Now we've got a negative 3 times a negative 7, and a negative times a negative is a positive, and this is the tricky one here that is often not managed correctly. 3 7s are 21, so negative 3 times negative 7x is positive 21x. And finally, a negative 3 times a positive 9 is a negative 3 9s are 27. And there we have expanding when there's mixed negatives and positives. Well, let's do another one, and let's make it a little bit more complicated with some x plus 5 minus 2, 2x squared plus 7. Okay, that's all we've got space for. So 4 times 3x squared, 4 times negative x, and 4 times 5. So we've got these 3 to do. So let's do the first one. 4 times 3x squared is 12x squared. Now the second one, 4 times negative x is negative 4x. So we've got a positive and a negative making a negative. The third one, 4 times 5 is 20. Alright, those 3 are finished. Now we move on to this second part, and we've got a negative 2 times 2x and negative 2 times 7. So let's do the first line here. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x, because a negative times a positive is a negative. And then our second loop here, negative 2 times positive 7 is negative 14. And this is also an area a lot of people see the plus, but they don't realize that it's a negative times a positive to be a negative. Now to simplify this, we look for the x squareds, and there's only one term with x squared. We look for all x terms, and we've got negative 4x and negative 4x. That makes negative 8x. And finally, we look at the constants. Plus 20 minus 14 becomes plus 6. Well, let's wrap it up with one more, and let's just do some negative 5x squared minus 3x, negative 2x minus 7. Okay, this looks like action-packed when there's only negatives, but let's go ahead and do this. We've got negative 5x squared, and that's not multiplied with anything. But this negative 3x is multiplied by negative 2x, and it's multiplied by negative 7. So a negative times a negative is a positive 6x squared. And finally, will it be a positive or a negative? A negative times a negative, yes, it's a positive 21x, because 7 3s are 21, but there's a 3x here, so 3x times 7 is 21x. We could wrap it up by simplifying. So we've got the negative 5x. No, there's a couple of terms here with x squared in it. So negative 5x squared plus 6x squared is simply 1x squared, and we've got the 21x on its own. Now we've had a look at this skill. I hope that I've been able to help you, and until I talk to you again, stay happy.